Welcome, everyone. Hello, Liz and Helen and Louise and Maureen and Roz and Rosemary and Helen and Denise. Hi, Damien. If I'm not, I haven't read your name out. Apologies, I just can't keep up with the number of people arriving. Hello. So I'm wondering, let's have a look here. I'm wondering, would any of my Time to Talk Next Steps buddies be okay to turn their there you are. Very cool. I like to see people's faces. That's lovely. So welcome. Thanks for coming along. Really excited you can be here today. My name's Barry Jones, and I have the privilege and pleasure of being an associate for the National Development Team for Inclusion. And I'm here with a number of Time to Talk Next Steps supporters and actually ambassadors and kind of champions who have been involved in the national programme, and we're going to have a set of conversations with you today and share what our experience has been. So on the call is Kilner. Maybe you might like to wave, Kilner. Or would you like to introduce yourself? Maybe I could say that. Would you like to say hello and who you are?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kilner. My daughter Hershey, who's 18 now, accessed the Time to Talk program when the pandemic started. And I myself am a member or a committee member of the Parent Carer Forum in Northeast London.
Great, thanks, Kilner. And next on my list is Ikra. Would you like to say hello to folks and let people know who you are?
Hi, I'm Ikra. I accessed the Time to Talk program, but now I'm an ambassador for Time to Talk.
Yeah, brilliant. Next on my list, I've got two people. I'm going to go to Sharon.
Hi, so I'm Sharon. I'm Tansy's mum. Do you want to say how old you are?
I'm 17 years old.
17. And Tansy also took part in Time to Talk in the first sort of round of Time to Talk sessions, didn't you?
Yeah.
You met with Alice. I've also been involved in Parent Carer Forum world since about 2011. I'm in Hampshire, and I was involved in Hampshire Parent Carer Network, and I also work for Contact as an associate supporting Parent Carer Forums, but also doing some of the family support workshops too. So I've been involved in delivering some of the training that comes as part of the Time to Talk programme.
Great, thanks. And we'll hear a bit more about that in a little while. So thanks, Sharon and Tansy. And Tansy is going to be starring in two videos, two short films during this session. So watch out for a bit more of Tansy. And then next, I've got Ruth.
Hi, I'm Ruth. Sorry, I can't have my camera on. My computer hates me. But also, so I've been a part of Time to Talk Next Steps since right from the beginning. I had one-to-ones, was in the peer support group, and you could say I'm an ambassador, or that you could just say I speak really loud.
Oh, okay. Or maybe we could say both. An ambassador that speaks really loud. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. So there's quite a few people on the call. And we've only got kind of another 55 minutes. So I'm feeling torn. I'd love to hear from everyone. Love to introduce each other, and I want to make sure you get all to hear the conversations that are going to take place. So I think what I'd like to do is warmly invite you all just to maybe jump in the chat and say hello to everyone, and maybe just share your name and where you're from or something like that. And feel free to chat away in the chat and make connections and share thoughts and ideas. We'll do our very best to keep up with the chat. And there will be an opportunity for questions and answers at the end of the session. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'll go through a little bit of information. Then we're going to have a conversation with the ambassadors and watch a few short films. So here we go. So Sharon and Tansy, maybe you could give me a wave if you could see my screen for me, because I can see you. Brilliant. Yeah, thumbs up. Thank you very much. So this is why I love jumping out of bed on the morning and being an associate for the National Development Team for Inclusion, because our vision is a world where everyone matters. And my goodness, don't we need that now more than ever? Absolutely. Helen, I'm noticing people are popping up to be admitted, and I'm guessing you're going to be letting people in the background. I hope that's okay. So we're a non-for-profit organisation, and we work to support people to lead good lives. That's how I like to think about. We support people to lead their best life possible. And this is the sort of stuff we do. We deliver training programs, we deliver policy and organisational development, do some consultancy, and also we've got a research and evaluation arm. And these are the things we do in terms of driving inclusion. So we actively work with people and support them to have their voice and for those voices to be heard. And we'll hear a bit more about that later. And we could co-produce and design things together. So we don't do anything without anything to someone, we do it with them. And a bit like, nothing about me without me kind of approach. So a bit more about Time to Talk. Well, the national lead, Alice McCall, who you'll get her details right at the end, during COVID, she saw that there was an opportunity to bid for some support, some money. And she put together this idea that, hey, wouldn't it be great to support people 16 to 25 who might be a little bit isolated and struggling, not being able to go to school or college or work, or maybe not being able to see their mates. And they're kind of just getting a bit lonely and isolated at home. So Alice designed with other people this fabulous program to support people. And I'm going to kind of share various list of kind of labels, which I don't really enjoy using, but basically it's for anyone that was struggling a little bit and who would like time to talk with someone about things that really matter to them. And we'll hear some examples about what we've done recently. Note to self, turn my phone off. Sorry about that. That was a bit shocking, wasn't it? A bit loud. Let me turn that down. So let's have a look. We've also working in partnership with a national organisation called Contact, and Sharon mentioned that she's an associate for Contact, and it's a partnership. And Contact do deliver various elements of support. So they deliver workshops, and then workshops have been about law and rights, about aspirations and building networks, and talking about preparing for adulthood. So they're really information-rich sessions, and we get a number of parent carers who come to those workshops to make connections and to kind of get some advice really and support. And they've been really, really helpful. I've attended one myself, and it's an opportunity to go really in depth on some topics. Then parents and carers whose young people are involved in the program can access something called a listening ear appointment. And that's through a kind of an expert advisor from Contact over the telephone. And they can just have a good conversation and get some support and advice based on their individual kind of situation. And then, of course, there's also the Contact helpline, and there's loads of information, loads of support, and loads of advice available about that. It could be about the law, it could be about benefits, it could be about work, it could be about a whole host of different things. So there's lots of support for parent carers, not just for young people. We'll share with you all the links at the end on how you can find out and make requests for support later. So in terms of young people, then, we've said it's for a group of young people 16 to 25, and there's a variety of different support available. So I'm really lucky. I'm one of the supporters. There's a team of 5 of us now, and when a request comes in, we'll have an initial conversation with a young person, and we'll talk to them about what they want to do and what they want to talk about, and we'll then think about which of the offers that are in place might fit them best. So we can have one-to-one sessions talking about anything that they'd like to talk about, usually between kind of like 4 and 6 sessions we'll offer. That's on the phone, or it's via an internet call. It's in a way that works for the young person. When young people have been involved as a supporter, there's a number of opportunities for them to really showcase their skills and their knowledge and experience. And Tansy has been involved in this, as have Ikra and Ruth, in terms of co-designing training for professionals or people who are paid to support young people, helping them to understand what good conversations look like and what they could do to support young people to feel safe and a trusted environment. So we've done various numbers of different training in Blackpool, an international resilience conference, and got loads more coming up. And I'm sure we'll have a chat about that in a little while. Then we've got something called peer support. And again, I'll briefly mention this because I'm sure the young people on the call will tell you more about this. This is a fortnightly meetup Anybody that's accessed the support from a young person perspective can jump on a Zoom call for an hour. The young people agree each time what topic it is that they want to talk about. And sometimes they just hang out online and chat. And they'll decide the topics each fortnight. I think the one that's just happened was all about human rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Ikra. And then the other things we do is we might hear what the young person wants to do, and we might use our contacts and our networks to support them. So that could be about employment opportunities, or it could be about getting out and about and going to places in their local community. So that's the kind of support that's available to people. We've also recently been to somewhere, I can't remember. Can anyone remember where we went, folks?
Drayton Manor.
Yeah, Drayton Manor. Yeah, exactly that, Drayton Manor. So we went to Drayton Manor and we did a celebration event, and I'm not going to say too much more about that. And we took a few photos, some serious ones and some funny ones. I'm going to keep doing that because that's such good fun. I like the people that are really sticking their tongues out. That's great. I can see the two fingers there from Tansy and Ruth. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, and I'm going to have a conversation with the ambassadors. So we've got a few questions, and we're just going to talk together, and hopefully this will give you a real good sense of what the program's about. So just give me a second while I find my, here we go. The reason I'm looking to my left is because I've got another little TV up here, so I'm not ignoring you. This is where my other TV is with my questions on. Right, I'm wondering. So I'm just going to invite the ambassadors to see where the energy is. So whoever's ready to pop and answer the question, feel free when you're ready, and everyone will have an opportunity to contribute. So, what's the best thing about Time to Talk Next Steps? What's the best thing? Who would like to go? Unmute and jump in.
You get to meet new people who are experiencing similar problems.
Yeah, great, Ruth. Thank you. Yeah, so you get to meet new people. Yeah, and maybe experiencing similar things to yourself. Thanks, Ruth.
We'll
yeah.
have the same experiences and sometimes the same difficulties with trying to get accessibility.
Yeah. And is that kind of helpful? Because it may be something about you don't feel alone. There's other people similar to yourself.
Yeah, I think so. I think it also kind of gives a sense of community, which is really important.
Yeah, sense of community. So making friends and connections. Thanks, Ruth. Anybody else?
I think like I'm gonna say like your one-to-one sessions are like person-centered led, like because the sessions are led by you, not by your supporter. They're only there to help you.
Yeah.
And I think also like peer support groups, like because everyone has similar experience to you and you make new friends.
Great. So yeah, your one-to-one sessions are based all about you. So you're put at the center, and there's an opportunity to make new friends at the peer support groups. Brilliant. Anybody else like to contribute to that question? Thanks, Ikra.
I'll speak on behalf of my daughter Hershey, who accessed it because I know she feels strongly about this. She got to talk to someone else who's not her mom, and she was very adamant, after the first couple of sessions, saying, "Mom, leave the room." So, and she was only 16 at the time, and she was quite sure. So I think it is basically, you're able to talk to someone confidently and without having a parent present.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Kilner. And that's really helpful to sort of say when young people come on the program, they get the option of bringing someone with them. It could be a parent, could be a carer, could be a friend. And there's an option for them to be by themselves as well, whatever works for them. And as a supporter, I often celebrate when a young person says, yeah, I think I've got this. I'm going to come by myself, thanks. And they ask their parent or carer to maybe be next door. I've got this. I would like to have conversations by myself. Yeah, great. Thanks, Kilner. And Hershey, is she on her work experience today?
She is on a work experience, and then she's got a school summer show. So unfortunately, she couldn't join today.
I'm really glad that Hershey's at work experience. That's really, really great. And we're going to see her on a little bit of a video in a little while. Sharon, and anything else you'd like to contribute?
Well, I think similar to Kilner in that Tansy was just saying that she liked the fact she did the sessions without me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first session she was quite nervous because obviously she didn't know Alice. But within, I think, 15 minutes or so, you told me to go, didn't you? And then I wasn't allowed in after that. But I think what I've really valued from the programme is actually how inclusive it is of all people, all young people that are disabled, so including learning disabled young people, because I think sometimes when it's harder to communicate your ideas, or you need more time, or you need more support, and Tansy can sometimes struggle with that, can't you? You need help sometimes. Sometimes some of the programs that are designed for young people, particularly around sort of developing confidence or whatever, might miss out those young people. And what I've found I've really appreciated with Time to Talk is that actually it's been adapted. Everything has been adapted to include and involve Tansy without it being an extra stress for me as a parent. It's just been done. I haven't had to ask for it. It's just, and I think even things such as you mentioned, the peer support program, Barry, Tansy has found that quite difficult and has been quite worried about accessing that because she can't always keep up. But there were separate sessions that were put on for her and Harshi that were at a different pace, and I think she really appreciated. Do you remember when you met Ellen? That was good, wasn't it? So yeah.
Great. Yeah, I'm really happy to hear and celebrate with you that it's inclusive, because we work really hard as a team together. And by a team, I'm including parent and carers and young people to make sure the offer is what people need to. And we're really open to adapting and tweaking to make sure it's as accessible as possible. And actually, I'd like to give a shout out to Ikra and Ruth, because they've been really helpful and powerful champions for just asking great questions like, is this accessible? You know, do we need some subtitles on here, or do we need something else? And so, yeah, big thank you to them, because I've learned a lot from them in terms of making our work accessible.
You're welcome. It's a gift, Barry.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, it is a gift. It's a genuine gift. Absolutely.
I'm being serious.
Me too. Yeah.
But also, sorry, from as a young person, just continuing what Kilner and Sharon has said, I would definitely say it's improved my levels of independence. I mean, I managed to get a bank account after ages of being scared about it, and it's definitely helped me become more independent and learn to work out challenges instead of always relying on my mum for help, because I usually do that a lot. So,
yeah.
Just coming from a young person's point of view.
Yeah, brilliant. And I imagine a bank account's pretty cool. Means you've got you can put away some cash and access some cash.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah. I
once lost my phone and my credit card, debit card at the same time, and I was like, damn. So we I spent about an hour crying in a pub, trying to phone up my bank account.
Trying to say cancel it. Yeah. Is that because you put the bank card in the back of your phone?
Yeah. Failing of said phones.
Yeah. So celebrating. There's some good stuff in terms of like you taking steps to be more independent, get a bank account, and also there's some scary stuff about that too.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a job from it. You know, I had to have a bank account to get a job, and I managed to get a job with it. So,
right. So the conversations with your supporter explored what you might like to do, and you thought, right, I'm going to go for it. Is that? Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty cool. What about yourself, Ikra? Is there anything else you'd like to add? Thanks, Ruth.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like it has given me a confidence that I wouldn't like before. Like
Oh dear. Sorry, Ikra.
No, it's fine. Like before, like I think it has given me confidence, because before I wouldn't have been able to like even like today speak in front of anyone. And also like I'm gonna say there's nothing else like this program, because this program is more accessible, more inclusive to a young person. And I haven't seen any other program like this.
Yeah. Well, just to let you know, I've got a massive smile on my face. I really hear you. I really enjoyed hearing you say, "Hey, my confidence has grown. I wouldn't have dreamt about speaking in front of people like this before." So I'm really, really happy to hear that. Yeah, great. I'm wondering, what about Kilner and Sharon? So thinking from a parent-carer perspective, like when we were preparing for this conversation, I remember, Kilner, you were saying about Time to Talk Next Steps is quite special because it's different from other types of services. Would you like to say anything more about that?
Yeah, it's similar to what Sharon said in terms of, there hasn't been any program which actually includes young people with learning disabilities, and there's a special program set for them. During the pandemic, we heard of services such as schools and other things which were giving mental health support, but it covered neurotypical children and young people, nothing that will actually cover those with special needs and disabilities as part of the program. And it also covered the preparation for adulthood outcomes. With my daughter, she learned how to sort of, have the confidence to do things herself. The supporter, Alice, and then she accessed Jack as well. They sort of gave her that confidence to be able to do things herself, whether it was making her bed, washing her own hair, even putting things out to recycling, doing, her dream is to drive a car. And one of the supporters said, to drive a car, these are the steps that you need to do. So it actually enabled her to think, what do I need to do to be able to do, achieve my final goal? So it's been fantastic. And I would like to answer a question that came up which has come up in the chat in terms of, is it supporting those with communication difficulties? I think it does. My daughter is able to speak, and she's able to understand basic sentences, but she's still got communication issues. And the program's quite visual, so there will be a lot of visual pictures and props available for those who have got communication challenges. And with support, I believe it could be accessed by everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Kilner. Yeah, absolutely. We've got a number of people with different varieties of needs, and we'll do everything we can to make sure the program's accessible. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would agree that Tansy doesn't always find communication easy, do you? No. And we found actually the program has just been very inclusive and adapted to include her in all of the aspects of it, including being on the steering group and having different ways of interacting and engaging, and the celebration event. And as I say, it was done really naturally. It was just the way things were being presented. If that wasn't quite working, it was adapted and something else was done, and we were really grateful for that. I think the other thing in terms of the program, for me, the sort of gap it has filled is as I was approaching sort of Tansy's transition towards adulthood, she'll be 18 in January, I was just feeling very much that I kind of knew a lot about the education system, and I always knew what the next steps were and what the options were, and I knew how to plan for it. And I knew, basically you go preschool and then you've got infant school and junior school and secondary school and college, and then it's like, I don't actually know how to plan for this, and I don't know who to talk to, and I don't know where to go. And it was completely different services, statutory services, and I think I just didn't have a space where I could ask some of those questions and just have somebody say, well, actually, these are the things you need to consider. And I think that's been a really valuable part of Time to Talk Next Steps, because that wasn't necessarily part of the first iteration of Time to Talk. And those training sessions and the spaces that Contact have offered to allow those parents those opportunities to ask some of those questions, and also to support each other, to say, well, I've done this, you might want to try that. Yeah. And I think that's a really unique aspect of this programme.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely indeed. So I'm wondering, how about Ruth, Nikra, and anyone else on the call that might want to contribute? What are the type of things that you've done? Give us a flavour of the type of things you've done. Go for it, Ikra. I can hear you.
I have done so many, it's like I don't know where to start, because it has given me a lot of opportunities. like I didn't thought I would ever do due to my vision impaired, because sometimes some places like people don't think about your needs, and I think whatever I took in part, it was like accessible. Like, for example, I did like after my 6 sessions, I gave a motivation speech. I I'm a board I'm on a board for Time to Talk. I have done like so many podcasts. The main I think the main opportunity me and youth got was going to the awake days.
Yeah, great. So much. You did 4 to 6 sessions. You're a member of the board. You've done a motivational speech. You've gone to the away days. You've done loads of stuff, absolutely loads. And I'm confident there's probably more than that too, isn't there? What about yourself? Yeah, thanks, Ikra. And I love the way you talked about the away days in terms of the National Development Team for Inclusion. You came to their away days and really helped to make sure there was young people's voice in the room. And I recall both of you were up there facilitating sessions and introduction sessions and all sorts. And it was great to have you there. Ruth, what about yourself? What are the kind of things that you've done?
I've managed to do quite a lot of talks, which has been very fun. I mean, it's quite funny because the way I started off my one-to-one sessions, I wasn't actually on camera or talking to Alice, the person who I was having the one-to-ones with. It was my parents who were on camera, and I was talking through them. So I was like kind of mouthing to my mum what I wanted her to say.
Yeah.
Because I had quite bad anxiety at the time, and I'd just come out of school due to quite severe bullying. That was quite aimed at being different, I guess. So it was very helpful at building my confidence up, especially at a time when it felt like I had no clue what my future was. Just like coming out of school. It was really good because I've given quite a few national and regional talks now, which is really fun because I love the sound of my own voice. No, but I also love using my experiences to try and better other people's stuff. So I've given a lot of talks about how to improve meetings and make them more accessible for different people, because obviously I've had quite bad experiences with some of the meetings and how they're very kind of either incredibly focused on me or quite exclusionary, and there's never really an in-between, unfortunately. It's been very accepting, and I found Time to Talk very helpful, especially because I have problems with remembering meetings, so they're quite chill about it when I sleep through a Time to Talk session or log in on the wrong day.
Yeah, and I know you're laughing, and I think to me, I think that's a really important thing, Ruth, because some services, like if you don't show up 3 times in a row, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's quite unfair and unaccessible sometimes, because when you're really struggling, you can try and organize it, but you don't know how you're going to be on the day. So I have the problem of that I have random bouts of like extreme fatigue, and really I sleep in class. So for me to always make it to online meetings, especially after just coming home from school, is quite difficult. So they've been really accepting and kind of very accessible on that front.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of other places have not. But also I've loved being able to share my experiences, and I've loved being able to feedback, because they're very person-centered. So it's always been great to say, well, this is good, but could you do this instead? I'm still waiting for those text messages. to be sent out, Barry.
Absolutely. I see. That's why I love working with you and all the young people, because it's like, hey, you know, we said this, come on, when's it going to start happening? Absolutely. And then I'm just thinking to myself, did I WhatsApp you to say, are you coming along, or did I send you an email? I think I might have emailed you.
You WhatsApp me.
Oh, okay, cool. That's all right then. Okay.
You didn't.
Thank you.
You didn't WhatsApp me.
I didn't WhatsApp you. No, see, now I'm blushing. There you go. I think you were already on the call. There you go, Ikra. You were already on the call.
It was because I've gone.
Okay, so I'm wondering, should we see a video for about 3 or 4 minutes? So Hershey and Tansy have done a video, and Hershey is at work experience today, which is great. And Tansy's like, oh no, do I want to be seen on video? You're excited. Don't pretend you're not. I know you are. Right. Okay. So here we go. Let's share my screen. And Kilner, I can only see you on this screen now. So maybe you can give me a thumbs up when you can see and hear it. And if it's too loud, maybe kind of do this or something like that, and I'll turn it down. Here we go.
Barry, it's
Yeah.
a little bit low, the volume.
A little bit low. Ooh, right. Okay. Let's start again then. Here we go. Let's stop sharing, and I'll share again and tick a different box this time.
Yeah, you might need to share the sound, I think.
Share the sound. Yeah, here we go. Optimize the video. So now I've done that, I've completely lost you. So maybe you could just say that's okay, or tell me if it is.
What
Yes,
did
that's
you
fine.
do in a time to talk session? Tansy.
Talk to Alice about growing and being independent. I talked about what matters I like, my friends and my pets.
And sorry.
What did you do in time to talk session?
Oh, in my time talk session, I talked to a support worker on Zoom. It was nice to talk to someone else. It was not my mom. It was good to have someone listen to me, and I would all me in exercise to do things I was having trouble with. I was time to talk of you, Tansy. Now listen.
How becoming more confident, making new friends.
Time to talk has helped me become more independent and more things by myself. Assemble, washing and combing my own hair myself. Also, I want to drive my own car, so Jackie helped me by asking me to think of steps I need to do. First, before driving, like looking at road signs and learning how to read them.
What was the best thing about time to talk?
I enjoyed meeting face to face and having meeting there. I enjoyed meeting everyone face to face in person at Trader Minor and being included in meetings and discussions. It was fun. Celebration of time to talk. My favorite bit was come on the rise at Trader Minor in Park. If you, Jancy, what was the best thing about time to talk? Jancy.
Meeting Harsey and Thomas at Drayton Manor.
Yeah.
Talking about growing up and having lots of fun. Oh my gosh, Tansy.
So there's lovely to hear Harshi and Tansy in the space as well, in terms of what they really enjoyed about Time to Talk. So I'm wondering if now's a good time just to take a pause and have a quick look at the chat. And I'm imagining, yeah, there you go. Look, hey, Helen's saying awesome. Thank you, girls. So yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look. So Ikra, have you turned your camera on?
No.
No, you might just want to, there's something on the screen. There you go. That's better. There was just something behind you that's probably, yeah, there you go. That's great. So I'm just going to take a moment to look through all of the chat, and there's lots of it, and we'll start answering some questions. Let's have a look. Lots of people saying looking forward to this session. People taking notes. We'll make the recording available as well, and the slides afterwards. So you've got those too with links to the videos. So the first question I can see is Damien from Rainbow Parent Carer Forum, and this was to everyone. So you're from Nottingham. Hi, Damien. And this is great. So logistically, what area do we cover? Do we cover a national or local level? Anyone, for any ambassadors want to answer that?
I think national.
You've got it. It's national. Absolutely. Thanks, Ikra. Louise says, does it support those with communication difficulties? I think we've covered that one. And our answer is we'll do everything we can to meet as many needs as possible. So absolutely, we're really open to receiving requests for support and working with you and young people to work out how we can have great conversations. In a way that supports the young people to contribute. Let's have a look. How do young people get involved? So we'll share the slides at the end. There's a relatively short request form that you fill in. Did anyone got any memories of how long that took to fill in?
Less than like 5 minutes.
Yeah, so it was
Really
like
quick.
less than 5 minutes. Sharon's like, yeah, really quick. Yeah.
It was pretty quick. I just don't like forms.
Yeah, me neither, Ruth. I'm not a forms kind of person, but yeah, I'm glad to hear that it was really quick, less than 5 minutes. It sounds like Louise from Rotherham, there might be an opportunity for us to hook up. Anything's possible project. There's lots of overlaps. That sounds great. We'd love to meet up and have a think about that and any crossovers. Yeah, Sharon's sharing the website links too. So you've already got the link now where to click on. Let's have a look. Are there local subgroups? Or are the days out national too? Okay, yeah, thanks, Helen. So the days were a national celebration event. So the young people that are participating in the board have been heavily involved in designing training and really helping us steer to make sure the project as best as it can be. We all came together to celebrate our time together and to review how things have gone and what we can do to make it even better. Yeah. Anybody else want to add anything in terms of what we did at Drayton Manor?
And the next day we went on roller coasters.
Yeah, I think Tansy was about to say that too.
Yeah. What ride did you enjoy, Tansy, if you'd like to share? You don't have to.
It's fine, don't worry about that, Barry.
Okay, great.
On the first ride, I was so scared.
Yeah, I remember. I was on the ride with you, just behind you. You were on with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard a little bit of noise. I think it was coming from your cart.
Were you screaming?
I was screaming.
I know. I had to put my hands over my ears.
I'm sorry, Barry.
That's all right, Tansy. And you were in the cart with Thomas, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay. So
Favorite ride?
I don't know. It's hard.
You went on it with Harshi a few times. What was it?
The pirate ship.
The pirate ship. Yeah.
I went on it by myself.
You did?
Yeah, great. Absolutely.
You know
So,
what I was about to say?
yeah.
My favourite ride was exactly the same one as you, Anzi. It was the pirate ship.
Wow. There
Thank
you go.
you.
There you go. Great. So I'm wondering, are there any other questions you've got? And hey, Sue, thanks for letting us know. Hope you have a wonderful day.
I think she's gone already.
Oh, right. Okay. Anybody else got any specific questions you'd like to know or ask? We'd love to try and answer them if we can. Give you maybe another 10 seconds just to have a think about any questions you'd like to ask any of the ambassadors.
Do you mean in terms of, are these sessions time limited, or do you mean this meeting?
Ah, great question. Do you want to have a go at answering that, Ruth, or would you like me to?
I mean, I can try. I've no clue on the answer.
Oh, well, go for it.
From my experience.
There you go. Super.
That I've been involved for over a year now, and it's never been kind of, although the one-to-one sessions, there was going to be an eventual end to it. It's never been one of those things where they've said, oh, we're going to have to discharge you at this point, which is what I've experienced with a lot of other services, is always about, you're going to have to leave this time, no matter how you're doing. They do it a lot based on if you feel that you can get more out of this, and it's very person focused is what I can say, whereas I've had a lot of other services that are like, we can only offer you this, and if that's it, just go.
Yeah, thanks, Ruth.
And then you can also go onto the peer support, which I loved going on to, because I love talking to all the other people.
Yeah.
So it's never been a situation of like, after a certain amount of time, because that's what I struggle with a lot with a lot of different places, is that they will kind of say goodbye even if you are struggling, because I've had that my personal self. So no, I've always had good experience with these guys.
Great, thanks, Ruth. And let me just check who answered that question. So Helen, yeah. So just to say, in terms of the one-to-one meeting up and chatting with the supporter, that's notionally between 4 and 6 sessions. And there's a little bit of flexibility on that, depending on individual circumstances. And as Ruth has said, there's lots of other opportunities to get involved, like the peer support group. There's no limit to the amount of time a young person could choose to come. They might come once, not come again for 6 months. They might come every fortnight for a year. It's whatever works with them. And equally, people can dip in and out of being involved in delivering training or co-designing the training or being an ambassador. So there's lots of different ways that people can get involved. So I hope that's helpful. Let's have a look.
And I would just like to add to that as well, Barry, that in terms of, it is completely flexible. So, if you can't attend a session, you email the supporter and they arrange another one. But in addition to that, what I did like was that even though, yes, I couldn't be, I wasn't allowed to be at the session, which was fine. But, I would still have liked to know how to help her. So what the supporters did was they actually emailed me every week in terms of the steps that discussed with my daughter and how I could help them, what she could do herself and what she was expected to do before the next session. And that was really great for me to actually have a sense of how she can be helped, what she wants to do to learn to be independent, for example, because that was her main goal. And that really helped me plan.
Yeah. And Kilner, if it's okay, I'd love to clarify that when you said I wasn't allowed to be there, that was Hershey's decision, right?
That was Hershey's decision, yes, completely, not the supporter.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Ikra, there's a question in from Louise. I'm wondering if you would like to try and answer it. So could you clarify how often the peer support groups meet and are they online?
They meet every fortnight. 7 till 8 every fortnight on a Wednesday.
Yeah. And how do you meet?
Oh yeah, sorry. You meet online.
Yeah.
As on Zoom every fortnight.
Every fortnight on Zoom. Great. I hope that helps, Louise. Thanks, Ikra. Yeah, thank you, Ikra. That's really helpful, says Louise. Yeah,
Sorry,
great.
can I just say about in terms of the time limited, just in terms of the parent support?
Please do.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me, just getting over COVID. So the way that the parent support has been put in place this year, it has been that there have been 4 workshops that have been across a whole year. And it's been pretty much the same parents coming to the 4, although some parents have sort of dropped in and out. We are actually trying to review it for next year's programme because we think the gaps were too big. And what we're actually wanting to do is almost build in a little bit of peer-to-peer support between the parents that do the training sessions too. So I think that there will be a change in terms of bringing them closer together so that those sessions, it might be that there's one a month for 4 months. But we're also looking at whether we can also find some sort of interactive space as well so that parents can actually, it's all work in progress. We're working with Contact and NDTI are working with Contact at the moment to try and shape it. But to offer that sort of peer-to-peer support so that parents can be talking to each other as well and supporting each other. But the other thing we're trying to also build in is actually bringing parents and young people together and having some of those conversations. So I feel that I've really learned from Ruth and from Ikra, from Harshi, from Tanzi by being involved as an ambassador in this programme. And just I feel that you know there's a real benefit for parents to be hearing from the young people too. So we're going to be trying to build some of that into the programme for next year as well.
Right, there you go. And Ruth's sharing some love in the chat there, Sharon. Yeah, super. So I'm wondering, we talked about showing the film, and the film's about 7 or 8 minutes long of Drayton Manor. How does that sound? I'd like to check with Tanzi and Sharon and Kilner and Ikra and Ruth. Would you like us to show the film?
Happy for it to be shared.
Yeah? Yeah, double thumbs up from Tanzi. Ikra and Ruth, would that work for you too?
Yeah. Go for it, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure, and it looks like we've answered all the questions. And if more questions come up for you while you're watching this, feel free to jump them in the chat. We'll have a few minutes at the end just to wrap up and say cheerio. So here we go. So this was made by one of the team called Thomas, and you'll see Thomas on the screen momentarily. And maybe if one of the ambassadors could sort of shout out and let me know you can see it and hear it, that would be great. I'm starting it now.
You haven't played it, so.
Time to Talk Next Steps is funded by the National Lottery Community Fund and delivered by the National Development Team for Inclusion. This short film is from the Time to Talk Next Steps celebration event in June 2022. This film aims to share some more about the project and this exciting experience. Staff, young people and carers from different parts of England came together at Drayton Manor Hotel to celebrate the first year of the project.
I enjoy celebrating other people.
Yeah, and what have you got from coming to this event?
Coming to this event, I enjoy doing lots of meetings.
Yeah.
And we're talking about lots of other ideas and opportunities to learn. And I want to be learning how to be independent.
Great. It's been lovely meeting everyone in person. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I agree with that answer.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, it's been really nice to get together and just have time to talk. Actually, and not have a particularly busy schedule.
Yes.
It's been nice to chat to people.
So what has been the best bit of the event so far for you?
I think for me, hearing the powerful reflections really from young people when we did the 4+1 review, really just hearing what young people were saying and how it's benefited them and how they're feeling, and even kind of thinking about this celebration event, what it's done for people to get them actually out.
Yeah.
It originally set up during COVID-19. Young people in England aged 16 to 25 with additional support needs received free online support from a small team of supporters at NDTI to help build their confidence, provide motivation, and make plans for the future.
Will this work?
It'll be fine.
Have you enjoyed the celebration event so far?
I've really enjoyed it. It's been amazing. It's been amazing to... I'll tell you what the biggest thing is, don't you spin me round, is I know a lot of people before they came here were really nervous about...
It's alright, it looks like you.
People were really nervous about seeing each other in person.
Yes.
And I knew that, and actually what we've managed to do is not only meet together, but connect in a way that's just made it feel like a real group. A lot of confidence building.
What's the best thing about the project?
I think it's the people and making sure that people get to a point where they feel safe enough and relaxed enough to be themselves and enjoy themselves, but also build their confidence and start being independent.
Parents and carers can access support too. They get information on transitions and can attend workshops on preparation for adulthood, which are also run by our partners at Contact, the National Disability Charity.
For me, I suppose a sense of inclusion, my daughter's been included, everyone's been great and friendly. And like Hershey, for example, is able to talk to everyone freely, and that means that actually, and she's independent, which means I'm able to talk to others.
And what's the best thing about Time to Talk Next Steps as a project?
I think the fact that it's actually centred on the young people and encouraging and supporting and assisting them to work out what they want for their futures and also what steps they might need to take to get there, but giving them a voice and the opportunity to sort of advocate and educate and share their experiences as well. I think the fact very much that it's sort of focused on their needs.
Young people engage with the project in a number of different ways, depending on what they want. They can have one-to-one online support from a supporter, and some go on to join a peer support network to meet other people. Our purpose is to enable young people to feel more confident, have their voices heard, and contribute their ideas.
What have you got from coming?
What did you get from coming to the event? As in, what did you enjoy?
It's gonna be really fun.
Really fun? What's really fun?
The rides.
The rides?
Yeah, that's my favourite one.
You've just been meeting with Alice?
Yeah.
Having a chat. What do you chat about?
I don't know. Kind of stuff.
All stuff. Do you talk a bit about your future?
Probably, yeah.
And how you plan for that?
Mm-hmm.
In March 2022, a group of young people co-designed and delivered a workshop on building emotional resilience at the International Resilience Conference. Young people want to develop and deliver more training and workshops for professionals across England in Year 2.
I think there was one particular young person that talked about how they felt really included for the very first time in a long time. People weren't looking at them differently and felt really included.
Coming together in June was a huge step for the whole group. Staff, young people and parents connected over the course of 2 days in a spirit of positivity and celebration. We learnt together, laughed together and shared food and stories. And at the end of all of that, we ended up going to the adventure park to try out the new exciting rides.
We've had some brilliant suggestions actually from people here today, yesterday when we had our meeting, and there's definitely a list of things that we're going to look at for next year, Year 2, which is really exciting because we've got room to respond to what people think, and I think that's what the magic of this project is actually, co-production, helping people have ideas and then actually seeing them happen and feeding back to them. That's what we're doing.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Time to Talk Next Steps is funded by the National Lottery Community Fund. Support for young people is provided virtually all year round. To find out more or to request support for a young person you know, please go to the NDTI website listed here.
Great. I always enjoy hearing and watching that video. I hope the team enjoyed seeing themselves in that video too. I'm wondering, are there any more questions coming through? Have you seen any more questions, team, you'd like to answer?
I've just seen that Louise is asking about the parent training.
Yeah.
And I've just seen the second question saying, could they commission the training to come to Rotherham? I would imagine that there would be a conversation could be had around that. Definitely. I'm just trying to think who the best person. Harriet probably would be the best person to speak to. So Louise, I'll put my email address in the chat if you want, and you're welcome to email me and I can put you in touch with Harriet and get that conversation going. I'm not really sure who owns the training, as to whether Contact own it or NDTI, or it's shared, or I'm not really sure how that will work, but it's something I know that Contact are really keen, and I know NDTI are as well, because we've spoken to Alice about it, really keen, now the work's been done, to actually write it, to get it out to as many parents as possible as well. We don't want it to be that it's just restricted to like 15 parents, because the content is great. So I will just put my email address in, just drop me an email and I can introduce you to Harriet and get that conversation going.
Yeah, super. Absolutely. I just want to share a couple more very quick slides just so you've got the information, and then we'll draw it to a close. We will finish on time. So requests are open and anyone can make a request. A young person can make a request. A parent and carer or a family member can make a request, and someone who's paid to be in the life of a young person can make a request too. So they're open now, and the link is on screen, and we'll send the presentation out to you, and it's all hyperlinked. So so you can access support via that way. And in the slideshow is also Alice's details if you'd like to get in touch to talk about anything more broadly and anything different than making a request for support. And we'll get those sent out to you all. Great. So I'm wondering, we've literally got 2 minutes left. So any burning questions that I haven't seen, please unmute and maybe shout out and ask a question. We'll do what we can to answer it. But I think we've got them all. So Helen, yes, we're just starting year 2 now, and the 5 supporters are myself, John, Jackie, Alice, and we've just got a new person joining us, and I've completely forgot their name.
Avril.
Avril, there you go, brilliant, thanks. And Avril's a job coach, a trained job coach and support employment kind of expert. So she's really great to have on the team to support us to think about getting people into the world of work. Okay, so I'm wondering, would all the team like to unmute? In fact, maybe everyone would like to unmute, and we could say thanks for coming and cheerio to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.